With the real estate market being so hot all over the country, although there is speculation that it's cooling off a bit, but the pricing is still really aggressive in most areas, I thought it would be important to bring to your attention deed fraud that many homeowners are encountering, and I have encountered it at least several times in my practice. And I think it's really important for you to know about, so that you can protect yourself and share the awareness with anyone that you should know. Before we get into this topic, let me introduce myself. My name is Miriam Greenidge and I'm an attorney. And then on this channel, we discuss various legal topics so that all of you can be informed citizens. Some topics deal with pop culture with a legal twist, and some topics are just run-of-the-mill things that I have encountered as an attorney and I would like to share with you. And if you think you like that sort of thing, don't forget to like and subscribe and share this information with anyone, and that would help the channel grow, and I will so appreciate it. Also, if you would like to book a session with me regarding going over your needs, reviewing any contract, business strategies, etc., there's a link in the description box. So, deed fraud. This is a criminal phenomenon, and it's more rampant now than it has ever been before. As a matter of fact, I know about 3 people who have had to deal with it personally, where someone has fraudulently transferred or created a fake deed to move the property out of the name of the rightful property owner's name into the name of a scam artist. After putting the property into their name, the scam artist then sells the property and pockets the sale proceeds. In some cases, the scammer may also attempt to collect rent from the existing homeowner, the original homeowner or rightful homeowner, or bring in new tenants unbeknownst to the homeowner. How can this happen, you may ask? Well, it's quite simple and easy. The most common scenarios of deed fraud is where a homeowner dies. These scam artists may regularly scan the obituaries looking for homes that are vulnerable to deed fraud. If the person who passed away did not have a next of kin or an estate plan in place, the home of this person who passed away is most susceptible for theft. And these criminals pretty much swoop in regardless and are able to gain access to the home and title to the home. And these scammers usually look for immediate eviction if anyone is living in the home in order to sell the property to a third party, pocketing a sizable amount of fraudulent profits. Scammers also often list the property for below market value in order to ensure a rapid, so they know people are going to want to jump on a bargain, so they use this as an opportunity to get rid of the property as quickly as possible. So a lot of people are increasing their real estate portfolio. Everyone wants to be a landlord and rent out properties to tenants or have Airbnbs, but these homes are most susceptible to deed fraud, especially because there's not a lot of traffic and there's not a lot of vigilance on these properties. So this is ripe for the pickings for an opportunistic criminal, especially if the property is managed by a management company who are just less vigilant, less present, making it easier for someone to take over without anyone even noticing. There are 3 telltale signs that you or someone you know may be a victim of deed fraud. Again, share this list with anyone that's a homeowner so that they can be on the lookout and protect themselves before it's too late. Number 1, unpaid bills. A notice for unpaid water bill, tax bill, mortgage bill, or interestingly enough, not receiving the water bill or the tax bill that you should have received. In that case, an identity theft may have gone where the person went to the tax authority or the municipal authority and asked to change the address so that the mail is not sent to your address but to the criminal's address. Also, notice of foreclosure. Receipt of a notice of foreclosure when you don't even have a mortgage. Another sign is signs of life. Like I said, evidence of activity in an unoccupied or vacant home could be an indicator of someone stealing the deed to that home. These are indicators. These don't necessarily equate to property theft, but you should always take a closer look whenever you see suspicious activity that's not part of the normal activity. Did I mention stealing a house is really easy as well? I mean, really easy. It doesn't even necessarily take a lot of skill. It just takes audacity, because once caught, these people are going to prison for an extremely long period of time. And you may be asking, why is it so easy for criminal-minded people to steal a home? Well, because of the process. When a deed is recorded at the county clerk just checks to make sure the deed is formatted properly and that it's signed and the signature is notarized. The county clerk does not necessarily function to compare signatures on previous recordings or to see if there's forgeries or otherwise inquire about the legitimacy of the deed. Can you believe that? Anyone can sign your name and it just be acceptable. That's it. You who save for several years to buy a house have to jump through hoops to prove that you're creditworthy, and some vile criminal can just come along, prepare some paperwork, submit it to the deed registry, and it's his. It's that simple. Also, those fancy developers that people like to oogle over, for many of them, deed theft is their modus operandi. Unscrupulous real estate developers illegally obtain real estate so that they can sell it for huge profits in high demand housing markets like Brooklyn, for instance. Yes, deed theft is prevalent with unsuspecting people. It's not just some guy sitting behind the computer lurking about what we're taught about what criminals normally look like. But it can be companies, developers with suits and ties who have access to databases and information that the average person does not. Also, many attorneys steal properties all the time because, like I said, they have access to databases, know the family history, and can leverage that to commit crimes. Many properties, especially in Brooklyn, are stolen. A lot of the illustrious brownstones that people covet have been stolen. It's the best kept secret of Brooklyn. According to the New York State Attorney General Office, New York City received around 600 deed theft complaints per year between 2014 and 2019. Interestingly, approximately 45% of these complaints came from Brooklyn. So almost half the property complaints from deed theft come out of Brooklyn. Currently, the Attorney General receives 3 to 4 deed theft complaints per week, predominantly from Brooklyn, Northern Manhattan, Queens, and the Bronx. And this is even during the pandemic. Remember I mentioned that people in fancy suits are the most unsuspected people and they go undetected. No one will question their integrity when it comes to deed fraud. Well, here's the thing. Here's an example. A Brooklyn attorney by the name of Sanford Solney defrauded 8 different homeowners out of property worth a total of $8 million. He targeted Brooklyn property owners facing foreclosure and created elaborate schemes convincing them this is the way to save their home. So he told the victims they needed to sign their properties over to him so he can negotiate with the lender to help end the foreclosure against the homeowners. And voila! He gained their trust and was able to get their properties, collect rents from them even, and then sell it. He was caught, but there's so many more behind him, especially with the pandemic. You know what they say, never waste a good crisis. So how can you protect yourself? Now that I'm sure I have you sweating. First and foremost, check the status of your deed regularly. County clerks across the United States are pretty much up to date with allowing online access for property records. You can go there and type in your name and confirm that you're still the owner of your property. Therefore, you should regularly check on the status of your deed to confirm that no one has done anything affecting your property ownership. I think when purchasing a home, homeowners should be more aware that the prevalence of crime and inform them that deed fraud is a possibility and to be as vigilant and circumspect as possible. Because even being proactive, unfortunately, there's not much you can do once the property's stolen. You will have to get an attorney and litigate and figure out that this deed was done fraudulently, and that can take time and expense. So it's better to be upfront and proactive as possible so that you could be protected. Also, check the city's registered record at least once a year to make sure that no deeds or mortgages have been recorded on your property without your consent, especially if you paid off your home. Also, some registries or cities have services whereby you can be notified when actions are done that affect your property. You should see if the county clerk provides this service and consider signing up for it if available. New York City has a program when they notify you that a recording has been done on your property. So it informs you by mail once it's done, but it does not interrupt the process to confirm that this is a legitimate deed. It just lets you know and makes you aware. Also, we are back to being really vigilant, and then unfortunately it's up to you that once a fraudulent deed has been recorded, the onus is on you to find an attorney to fight it, which is really unfair, but the system is just set up that way. And my best advice to you is to be as vigilant as possible. This is your biggest asset, so it's on you to protect it. So like I said, hopefully this information has been helpful. Share, like, and don't forget to subscribe if you're a first-time viewer. And thank you again for watching. It's that simple.